Hey, honors everybody. How we doing? DeRocher here, talking a little bit about Huck Finn and the next few chapters that you're reading. Remember, the deadline is May 5th. That is just an imaginary deadline. That's what I'm going to put in the grade as marked and done. But I'm not counting anything late. So if you do turn it in late, if you get behind, if you need to do something else, don't stress, don't worry, just get it done. So, chapter 8. This part of the book, I feel Twain gets a little lazy. I hate to criticize Twain, but it seems like we're doing a repeat of some of the stuff that went on in Tom Sawyer. Huck gets away. He goes and hides in Jackson's Island. They search for his body because they think he was murdered and dumped in the river. So he's seeing the same little ferry boat out there. He sees Tom Sawyer out there crying on the boat while they're looking for him. And then he runs into Jim on the island. And okay, they're on the island. They have their fun, just like in Tom Sawyer. The kids had their fun. And then there's a big storm on the island, and just like on Tom Sawyer, there's a big storm there too. You remember, if you've read that book, that the tree crashes down right kind of where they had been, where the fire was. And then he does something dumb. He tries to scare the heck out of Jim with a rattlesnake, and Jim ends up getting bit by, go figure, the superstition thing actually works. Jim gets bit by the mate, so to speak, of the rattlesnake, and he's deathly ill for a while, as you would be. I think Huck feels a little remorse about that. And one more thing where Twain is kind of lazy. Remember when Tom Sawyer goes back and peeks in and hears all the news that's going on in the town? He sneaks into Aunt Polly's house and hears them grieve him and finds out when the funeral is going to be. Well, Huck sneaks across the river, goes up towards near town, dresses as a girl, talks to a lady who figures out that he's definitely not a girl. He throws too well. He puts his knees together, puts his knees apart, all sorts of things that a girl wouldn't do. But luckily for Huck, he finds out that they're coming for him. They know that they think that Jim is on the island because they've seen smoke out there. So in the nick of time, Huck gets back and they float off down the river. So for the rest of the book, you're going to have the Mississippi River, old, time passing. It symbolizes quite a bit of things, but one thing is the constant movement of time, and the constant, no matter what your problems are, it continues to flow. Just like for thousands of years, people have had problems. The rivers keep flowing. They get onto a steamboat, and this is one of the moral dilemmas that Huck faces. This is where Twain gets back to not being lazy. Do you save somebody who you know is a bad person? Do you save somebody who's killed others? And do you save somebody even if it means you're going to end up in a lot of trouble too? They lose their raft while they're on this ferry boat that's sinking, and they steal instead the boat of the two robbers that are going to kill the third robber. All three of those guys are going to end up dead because Huck and Jim end up taking their escape vessel. And Huck's got some remorse. He's got some problems to sort through there, but you know, if you're going to take something from somebody, at least take something from a robber and a murderer. I guess that's the moral equivalent there. And I didn't read chapter 14 recently, but he's telling stories about the kings and the queens and Louis XIV, and this is one of those times where Jim, his logic, even though it's not informed at all, even though it's uneducated, his logic is actually pretty darn good, and Twain shows this through a lot of humor. I don't know if this is where he also talks about languages, because that's one of my favorite parts with Jim. Jim has no idea about how languages are, and it's his circle of logic that he uses is actually brilliant, even though it makes no sense in the real world. So that brings you up to chapter 15, and that's where you're going to start doing your essays. And you know what to do on that. If you don't, shoot me an email. I'll get right back to you, okay? Shoot, I didn't come up with any good jokes today. I'll just leave you with one picture. I got hurt. I was mountain bike riding on Saturday, and I was doing about 18, and I got some sand, and I just went flying. I've got the biggest pizza on my knee. But if you want to picture your teacher flying through the air, banging his head on a rock, even though I had a helmet on, that was good. Go ahead and picture that. That could be kind of fun, instead of me telling you a stupid dad joke. All right, someday I'll grow up. You guys stay safe, and I'll get another email out to you on Monday. All right, take care. Bye.